A very good morning to all. Welcome to the webinar on Enhanced HyperV Backup with Vembu VMBackup version 3.5. My name is Manoj. I'm here a part of Sales Engineering with Vembu Technologies. I'll be hosting today's session. I see a lot of attendees are quickly trying to join the session. So let's leave a minute for everyone to get joined and then we can go ahead and get started. Thank you. Hope everyone has joined. We can get started. So before we start, let me set the ground rules for today's session. You are automatically in mute. However, you have a question box. So during the session, if you got any questions, feel free to post the questions on the question box. And by the end of the session, we'll spend some time in answering your questions. To start with, let's have a quick intro about the company profile. Vembu Technologies is founded in the year 2004. We are a private company, profitable since 2006. We have 4,000 plus channel partners. And we reached more than 60,000 businesses so far. We are headquartered in Chennai, India. 70% of our customers are from North America, 20% from Europe, and the rest 10% from Asia Pacific region. Vembu BDR Suite is actually a one-stop solution for all your backup and disaster recovery needs, catering to every requirement of small and mid-sized businesses. It has a group of products bundled together, and they are Vembu VMBackup that helps you to do the backup and replication of VMware and HyperV, Vembu Image Backup, using which we can do the backup and bare metal recovery of physical Windows servers and desktops, and Vembu Network Backup. It helps you to do granular file folder level backups and application backups for applications like MS Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, Active Directory, Outlook, MySQL, etc. And Vembu Online Backup is purely a cloud-based solution where you can directly backup the data to our cloud, Vembu Cloud, which is on secured Amazon environment. And Vembu SaaS Backup is a backup solution for SaaS applications like Office 365 and Google Apps. Adding to that, we do have some add-on products, and they are Vembu Offsite DR. It is an add-on service for Vembu BDR Backup Server, using which you can have an additional copy of the data to an offsite data center or a remote storage. And Vembu Cloud DR is used to do a hybrid cloud environment where you can have the redundant copy of the data replicated to our cloud, Vembu Cloud, so that you can even directly perform a DR from our secure cloud environment. And Vembu BDR 360 helps you to do 24/7 monitoring and manageability on your all your BDR servers. So with this one single centralized portal, you can monitor and manage multiple BDR servers you deploy for the customers. And Vembu Universal Explorer is a tool that helps you to do a granular recovery of applications like Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, Active Directory. So just from the image, VMware, HyperV machine level backups, you can even do a granular recovery of applications with this particular tool. Why we need Vembu VM Backup? Backing up virtual environments are typically more expensive and difficult to manage. So basically it needed a fundamentally different approach towards the backup and disaster recovery. Vembu VM Backup is exclusively designed for virtual environments like VMware vSphere and Microsoft Hyper-V by the experts in the industry. It actually fills the purpose with the best breed in technology that provides a manageable solution at an affordable cost for backing up and disaster recovery of VMware vSphere and Microsoft Hyper-V, which not only performs a regular backup, that also ensures the applications residing inside the virtual machines are backed up consistently with the granular recovery options with an optional cloud disaster recovery option. So to get into the disaster recovery part, we need a basic understanding of what is an RTO and RPO. Recovery time objective. RTO is like how much time we take to recover a virtual machine after the disaster. So with Vembu BDR, we offer the industry's best RTO, which is less than 15 minutes, and the level of recovery can be, you can immediately have a instant virtual machine recovery, or instant file level recovery, or instant granular application level recovery with BDR, and all these can happen within less than 15 minutes. And RPO is like up to which point you can recover a machine after the disaster. So with Vembu offers a near continuous data production where it has an automated backup and replication scheduling mechanism, and the backup frequency starts even from every 15 minutes. So at any point you can assure that you can achieve an RPO of less than 15 minutes. When it comes to a backup, any backup is like at any point of time the backup data should be recoverable. If not, the backup itself is worthless. So we have come across scenarios like while performing a disaster recovery, the IT administrators will come to realize that the actual backup data is corrupted. So to avoid such scenarios, we have integrated something called backup verification. So every day or the post completion of every backup schedule, an automated check will happen on the backed up data. It will boot all the virtual machines on the back end, and the screenshots of the boot screen is captured, and those screenshots will be made to the administrators. And just by taking a look at the email and the screenshots, the administrators can ensure that all the backed up VMs are consistent, bootable at any point of time. So how we achieve all these things are like the reason behind these features are we have an efficient storage management system where we have developed our own file system called Vembu file system, which is used for large-scale backup and disaster recovery applications with support of advanced use cases. This Vembu file system can be easily implemented on any SAN, NAS, or directly at our storages, and it can even automatically scale up, scale out storage devices with this file system. This system has an inbuilt version control, error correction, inbuilt compression, deduplication, and encryption mechanism integrated in it. And if you are having plans to migrate a physical machines to a virtual environments, and if you are looking for a cost-effective solution, Vembu BDR Suite is an answer for it. So because Vembu BDR supports instant creation of VMD, VHD, and RAW file formats of the backed up virtual physical machines, so that the users can do instant migration between physical to virtual, virtual to physical, or between hybrid virtual environments like VMware to HyperV or vice versa. So here comes the architecture of Vembu VMBackup. You can see this Vembu BDR server is the centralized server where you have the storage connected, and with this centralized server's web-based console, you can directly add a VMware ESXi server or HyperV server on it. So it has an integration service, or we call it as a proxy called Vembu VMBackup. This proxy will actually read the information from the VMware or from the HyperV. So it will just read the information, encrypts, compress. Only the encrypted and compressed data will be sent to the BDR server storage, where the data will be stored in Vembu file system. And from the BDR server, you have an option to do a redundant copy to an offsite data center or a private cloud or a remote SAN, NAS, or whatever, using the offsite by installing an offsite DR server, Vembu offsite DR server. Or alternatively, you can also replicate the data to our cloud, Vembu Cloud, which is on secured Amazon environment. And this is Vembu portal where you can manage all your licenses, billing, and invoices, and the licenses needed for the Vembu BDR backup server will be automatically supplied from your Vembu portal account. So speaking more about HyperV Backup with Vembu VMBackup, we do host level HyperV Backup designed to protect Microsoft HyperV servers. Vembu has developed its own property driver to back up the HyperV VMs in an efficient manner, especially with up to 5x improvement in performance over other backup software. The HyperV Backup uses application-specific VSS writer to take consistent snapshot of highly transactional applications like Microsoft Exchange Server, SQL Server, and it can even truncate the transaction log files during the backup job. So it has a flexible and configurable retention policies, and using this you can do a backup of multiple VMs in a single backup job. Alternatively, it also has an option to create multiple backup jobs with a group of VMs. Hot backup ensures zero VM downtime, and the support for HyperV cluster shared volumes is also available with Vembu VMBackup. So this is a quick overview of the HyperV Backups architecture, where with this BDR server itself, you can directly add your HyperV host server's credentials, and Vembu VMBackup is actually an integration service or a proxy that communicates to the HyperV server. So this proxy will actually read and send, encrypts, compress the data, and sends the encrypted compressed data to the Vembu BDR server. So This is how technically how a HyperV backup happens with Vembu VDR. So when a backup request is initiated, it will immediately do a VSS snapshot creation, and the VMs which are configured for the backup will be added as a component to that VSS. It will squeeze the IO so that all the applications inside the VM comes to a consistent state, and then it will read the VHD or VHDX file and start performing the backup. Once the backup is complete, the VSS snapshot created temporarily will be deleted, and a success acknowledgement will be given to the backup request. So this is how the very first or the initial full backup happens with Vembu VM Backup. And the important feature available with Vembu's HyperV Backup is we have our change black tracking mechanism integrated in it. So this helps to do efficient incremental. How it happens is like, let's consider the very first full backup or the previous incremental is completed. This Vembu's own CBT drivers will start tracking by capturing the IOs and logging the changes happening on the blocks to a bitmap file. So during the incremental backup, using the bitmap file, only the changed blocks will be backed up to the Vembu VDR server. So by this way, we can ensure that this Vembu VM Backup CBT drivers will capture only the changed blocks, and the incrementals are completely efficient, where it is comparatively very less in size to the full backup, and it will use only less time and resources for performing efficient incrementals. So to give a highlighted features in Vembu VM Backup version 3.5 is like it is purely agentless. There is no need of manually installing an agent inside the HyperV host server or having a separate console called agent console. So there is one single centralized console on the VDR server where you can directly add your HyperV host details like a machine name, the username and password for the HyperV host server. Once the host details are added, an integration service will be pushed to the host, and it will automatically pop up all the VMs running inside the HyperV host server on the configure backup page, where you can go ahead and pick what all the VMs you want to backup and start configuring the backup. And there is an extensive support for VMs in SMB storage. All you need to do is like add an SMB file server to the host list of backup VMs using SMB file server as a storage. So this is how quick recovery of HyperV backups happens with Vembu VDR. Let's say this HyperV servers are backed up to this Vembu VDR server. So there Vembu VDR server will have a Vembu virtual drive created. So it doesn't even utilize any storage on the server machine. So it is just a virtual representation of the backed up data, and this will have the VHD, VHDX, VMDK files of the backed up virtual machine. So if you need to do a recovery, when you initiate a recovery request, it will immediately spin it on the backup server's hypervisor, or if you want to do it recover it on a VMware or other HyperV or KVM environment, you can just pick what is the file you need, whether it be a flat VMDK or VMDK or VHD file, and you can do instantly create the VMs using those files. So there is no need of any manual restore needed, and spending much time and resources. So this is a high-level overview of Vembu VDR Suite version 3.5, how it performs HyperV Backup. So to make it more interesting, I'll just share how we can configure HyperV Backup and what are all the recovery scenarios available with Vembu's HyperV Backup. So just give me 1 minute. Let me go ahead and pull up my test machine so that I can show it in live. So I've just connected to one of our test machines, and this is the centralized console for Vembu VDR Suite version 3.5, where you can directly configure backups, perform disaster recovery. Everything can be done from one single console. So let's say if you want to configure a HyperV Backup, just navigate to Backup, click on Microsoft HyperV. So here you have an option to add the HyperV host server credentials. So just by clicking on Add HyperV Server. So Here you need to select whether it is a standalone Hyper-V host or an SMB host, and when you click on next, it will have an option to add the host name or the IP address of the Hyper-V server with the user access credentials. Once it is added, it will just list it on the configure Microsoft Hyper-V page itself, so you can directly start configuring the backup. I've added one from my test bed, and if I want to backup the VMs in it, just click on backup now. So this will make the integration service to communicate with the Hyper-V host server and pop up all the VMs running inside that Hyper-V host server. So all you need to do is just pick what are all the VMs you want to back it up and click on next, and this is where you can ensure the RPO and RTO of this backup, like how frequently you want to run the backup. As I said, you can even run the backup every 15 minutes depending upon your convenience and requirement. You can choose how frequently you want to run the backup. That could be an hourly, daily, weekly, and click on next where you can configure the retention. So this is where you can select how many restore points you would like to have for the backup. So we can just choose how many restore points you need to have for this. And again, as I said earlier, these backups are application aware, and it ensures the applications running inside the virtual machines are also consistent, and you can even truncate the logs of the application after the successful backup by enabling this option. So when the retention is configured, all you need to do is just review the configuration once everything is fine, and just add a backup name and start running the backup. This is a very simple wizard where you can directly start running the backup in just 2 to 3 minutes of time. And when we speak about recovery, there are several recovery options available. And as we said, we are glad to say that you can achieve an RPO and RTO of less than 15 minutes with Vembu VDR. So let's say if you want to see the recovery options, so just click on restore. So it will show various recovery options. So there's an instant virtual machine recovery is if the actual source VM is down, you can use this option. What happens is within a couple of minutes, it will go and spin that virtual machine up and running on the backup server's hypervisor. So all you need to do is just connect that newly created VM to the network and continue using your business critical applications running inside the virtual machine. And you do have an option to capture the changes you make on the virtual machine by doing a persistent copy. And if you wanna instead you don't need a temporary virtual machine, you actually want to rebuild on the live Hyper-V server, you can use this option where it will just restore the VM to the source Hyper-V server, where you can directly start running the VM once after the restore process. And if you want to do instant file of recovery, say if you need only specific files and folders from the virtual machine, you can use this option. What it does is once after you do this type of restore, it will just attach the backup VM just like one of the additional drive on the backup server machine's disk management. So just like browsing a local drive, you can browse through the files and folders on the backup virtual machine and copy whatever the files and folders you wanna have from that virtual machine. And let's say if you are doing a P2V or V2V migration, or if you want this particular backed up virtual machine in a specific file format on a specific location, you can use the legacy download option, where you can download the backed up machine as a VHD, VMDK, VHDX, flat VMDK and raw image file format. So depending upon the environment where you want to rebuild the machine, you can choose which file has to be downloaded. So these are all the various recovery options available with Vembu Media Suite version 3.5. It's a very simple and straightforward product, and you can directly have some hands-on experience with this product where you can feel more comfortable with it. So if you got any questions, feel free to post it on the question box, or also you can email us to vembu-sales@vembu.com, and we are happy to assist you with your questions on it. So once again, thank you all for joining the session. This session is being recorded, so if anyone need a recorded copy of this session, feel free to send an email to the email address mentioned on the screen, which is vembu-sales@vembu.com or vembu-support@vembu.com, and you can directly ring us on the above numbers, and we are happy to help you out. Thank you all for joining the session. Have a wonderful day.